You're live in 2 minutes, Your Royal Highness. Sir?
Thank you.
Let the microphone do the work, sir.
I'm sure you'll be splendid. Just take your time.
Time to go.
Good afternoon. This is the BBC National Programme and Empire Service, taking you to Wembley Stadium for the closing ceremony of the Empire Exhibition,
where His Royal Highness the Duke of York will read a message from his father, His Majesty King George V. 58 British colonies and dominions have taken part, making this the largest exhibition staged anywhere in the world.
Remember, sir, 3 flashes, then steady red means you're live.
Using the new invention of radio, the opening ceremony was the first time His Majesty the King
addressed his subjects on the wireless.
At the close of the first season, the heir to the throne, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, made his first broadcast. And today, his younger brother,
His Royal Highness the Duke of York, will give his inaugural broadcast to the nation and the world.
I have received from His Majesty the King Inhale deep into your lungs, Your Royal Highness. Relaxes your larynx, does it not? Cigarette smoking calms the nerves and gives you confidence. Now, if Your Royal Highness would be so kind as to open your hand. Sterilized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, if I may take the liberty, insert them into your mouth.
Excuse me, Doctor. What is the purpose of this?
It's the classic approach. It cured Demosthenes.
That was in ancient Greece. Has it worked since?
Now, if you would be so kind as to read a wealth of words. A fight against those marples, Your Royal Highness. Enunciate. A little more concentration, Your Royal Highness.
Oh, Billy, swallow the bloody things!
Thank you so much, Doctor. It's been most, interesting.
Your Royal Highness.
Insert marbles, you get it? Insert his own bloody marble.
Tick-tock. Tick-tock. You know you can't keep doing this, Bertie.
I know. Promise me. Promise me no more.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I'm just in the loo.
Oh, Mrs. Johnson, there you are. Sorry, I don't have a receptionist. I like to keep things simple. Poor and content is rich and rich enough.
Sorry?
Shakespeare, how are you?
How do you do?
Oh, chuffing along. Now, this is slightly awkward, but I'm afraid you're late.
Yes, I'm afraid I am.
Where's Mr. Johnson?
He doesn't know I'm here.
Well, that's not a very promising start.
No. No, look, my husband has seen everyone, to no avail. Awfully afraid he's given up hope.
He hasn't seen me.
Awfully sure of yourself.
Well, I'm sure of anyone who wants to be cured.
Of course he wants to be cured. My husband is, well, he's required to speak publicly.
Perhaps he should change jobs.
He can't.
Indentured servitude?
Something of that nature, yes.
Well, we need to have your hubby pop by. Tuesday would be good. He can give me his personal details, I'll make a frank appraisal, and then we'll take it from there.
Doctor, forgive me. I don't have a hubby. We don't pop. And nor do we ever talk about our private lives. No, you must come to us.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Johnson. My game, my turf, my rules. You'll have to talk this over with your husband, and then you can speak to me on the telephone. Thank you very much for dropping by. Good afternoon.
And what of my husband with the Duke of York?
Duke of York?
Yes. The Duke of York.
I thought the appointment was for Johnson. Forgive me, Your
Royal Highness.
Royal Highness.
Yes, Johnson was used during the Great War, when the Navy didn't want the enemy to know he was aboard.
Am I considered the enemy?
You will be, if you remain unobliging. You'll appreciate the need for absolute discretion.
Of course. How did you find me, Your Royal Highness?
The president of the Society for Speech Therapists.
Eileen MacLeod. Oh, well, she's a sport.
She warned me your Antipodean methods were both unorthodox and controversial. I warned her. Those are not my favourite words.
I can cure your husband, but for my method to work, I need trust and total equality. Here in the safety of my consultation room. No exceptions.
Oh, well, in that case. When can you start?
She's still sounding a bit rough, mate.
You make me drive too slowly, Dad.
Did you pick Mum up from bridge?
Yeah, I've hardly been out of the car all day.
I had a special visitor this afternoon.
May I please leave the table?
How special?
No, you must stay bored stupid listening to your parents' inane conversation.
Thanks, Dad.
And Mum?
And Mum.
Me too.
Are you meeting Jean?
No, someone else.
Doctor? Doctor? Go and help your brother with the washing up.
I'm fine.
Who is it, Lionel?
Why bring it up if you can't talk about it?
Myrtle, it's just a woman looking to help her husband. Oh, and I had a call for an audition. One of my favorites.
Aren't they all?
Could be a lot of fun.
I'm sure you'll be splendid.
In the amateur scene, they're a highly regarded group.
From Putney.
No, that's all, girls. Tomorrow, chapter 4, the flight.
Oh, Mama, I long to know where they fly to. I can't wait.
Oh, to fly away. Weren't they lucky?
Now, Papa, tell a story.
Can't I be a penguin instead?
Well, no, I want a penguin story.
Very quickly. Once there were two princesses, Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret. Papa was a penguin. This was because he'd been turned into one by a wicked witch. This was very inconvenient for him because he loved to hold his princesses in his arms, but you can't if you're a penguin because you have wings like herrings.
Herrings don't have wings.
Penguins have wings which are shaped like herrings. And what made matters worse is that she sent him to the South Pole, which is an awfully long walk back if you can't fly. So when he reached the water, he dived in through the depths so fast that he was in Southampton waters by lunchtime. And from there, he took the 2:30 to Weybridge, changed at Clapham Junction, asked a passing mallard the way to Buckingham Palace, swam up the Thames, out through the plug hole, and gave the cook, Mama, and Mrs. Whittaker quite a shock. Now, when the girls heard all the commotion, they ran to the kitchen where they gave him a good scrub, a mackerel, and a kiss. And as they kissed him, guess what he turned into?
A handsome prince.
A short-tailed albatross. With wings so big that he could wrap them both around his two girls together.
Now, girls, time for bed. Come on.
And take those horses to the stable.
Quickly now, you have exactly a minute.
Good night.
Very late.
Feed them, wash them, and to bed.
Will Mrs. Simpson be there?
My brother's insisting.
Is this serious?
About her coming to dinner.
No, about her.
A married woman, he can't be.
She can. By the way, I think I found someone rather interesting on Harley Street. Doctor.
Out of the question. Not having this conversation again. Matter settled.
His approach seems rather different.
Now? Now. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this sun of York, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious rings.
Thank you. Lovely diction, Mr.
Logue, Lionel Logue.
Well, Mr. Logue, I'm not hearing the cries of a deformed creature yearning to be king. Nor did I realize Richard III was king of the colonies.
I do know all the lines. I've played the role before.
Sydney?
Perth.
Major theatre town, is it?
Enthusiastic.
Ah.
I was well reviewed.
Yes. Well, Lionel, I think our dramatic society is looking for someone slightly younger and a little more regal.
No, you have to shut that one first. Close that one first. That's it.
Where did you find this physician?
Classifieds. Next to a French model, Shepherd's Market. There it comes, highly recommended. Charges substantial fees to help the poor. Oh dear, perhaps he's a Bolshevik. Oh, there's no receptionist. Likes to keep things simple. The Johnsons?
You can go in now, Mr. Johnson. Lionel says, wait here if you wish, Mrs. Johnson. Or, it being a pleasant day, perhaps take a stroll. Was that all right, Lionel?
Marvellous, Willie. You can stay here and wait for your mum. Mrs. Johnson? Mr. Johnson, do come in.
Would you like a sweetie?
He's a good lad, Willie. He could hardly make a sound, you know, when he first came to me. My boys make those. They're good, aren't they? Please, make yourself comfortable. I was told not to sit too close. Well, I believe when speaking with the prince, one waits for the prince to choose the topic.
Waiting for me to commence a conversation, one can wait rather a long wait.
Oh, yeah. Do you know any jokes?
Timing isn't my strong suit.
Cup of tea?
No, thank you.
I think I'll have one.
Aren't you going to start treating me, Dr. Logue?
Only if you're interested in being treated. Please. Call me Lionel.
I prefer Doctor.
I prefer Lionel. What'll I call you?
Your Royal Highness. Then Sir, after that.
It's a little bit formal for here. I prefer names.
Prince Albert, Frederick, Arthur, George.
How about Bertie?
Only my family uses that.
Perfect. In here, it's better if we're equals.
If we were equals, I wouldn't be here. I'd be home with my wife, and no one would give a damn.
Well, please don't do that.
I'm sorry.
I believe sucking smoke into your lungs will kill you.
My physicians say it relaxes the throat.
They're idiots.
They've all been knighted.
Makes it official, then. My castle, my rules. Thank you. What was your earliest memory?
What on earth do you mean?
Your first recollection?
I'm not here to discuss personal matters.
Well, why are you here, then?
Because I bloody well stammer!
You have a bit of a temper.
One of my many faults.
When did the defect start?
I've always been this way.
I doubt that.
Don't tell me it's my stammer.
It's my field. I can assure you no infant starts to speak with a stammer. When did yours start?
4 or 5.
That's typical.
So I've been told. I can't remember not doing it.
I can believe that. Do you hesitate when you think?
Don't be ridiculous.
How about when you talk to yourself? And everyone natters to themselves occasionally, Bertie.
Stop calling me that.
I'm not going to call you anything else.
Then we shan't speak. Are you charging for this, Doctor?
A fortune.
I'll just let that brew. So, when you talk to yourself, do you stammer?
Of course not.
Well, that proves that your impediment isn't a permanent part of you. What do you think was the cause?
I don't know. I don't care. I stammer. But no one can fix it.
I'll bet you that you can read flawlessly right here, right now. And if I win the bet, I get to ask you more questions.
And if I win?
Well, you don't have to answer them.
One usually wagers money.
The bob each to keep it sweet? Let's see your shilling.
I don't carry money.
I had a funny feeling you mightn't. I'll stake you and you can pay me back next time.
If there is a next time.
I haven't agreed to take you on yet. So please stand and take a look at that from there.
I can't read this.
Well, then you owe me a shilling for not trying.
To be or not to be? That can't be.
I haven't finished yet. I'm going to record your voice and then play it back to you on the same machine. This is brilliant. It's the latest thing from America. It's a Silvertone. Pop these on. There's a bob in this, mate. You could go home rich.
You're playing music.
I know.
So how can I hear what I'm saying?
Well, surely a prince's brain knows what its mouth's doing.
You're not well acquainted with royal princes, are you?
Hopeless. Hopeless!
You were sublime. Would I lie to a prince of the realm to win 12 pennies?
I've no idea what an Australian might do for that sort of money.
Let me play it back to you.
No.
All right, then. I get to ask you the questions.
Thank you, Doctor. I don't feel this is for me. Thank you for your time. Bye.
Sir? The recording is free. Please keep it as a souvenir.
For the present, the work to which we are all equally bound is to arrive at a reasoned tranquility within our borders, to regain prosperity at this time of depression without self-seeking, and to carry with us those whom the burden of the past years has disheartened or overborne. To all, to each, I wish a happy Christmas. God bless you.
And offer.
Easy when you know how.
Sir?
Have a go yourself.
Congratulations, sir.
Ah, Mr. Wood. Splendid fellow. Chap who taught me everything I know. Let the microphone do the work. Thank you.
Gentlemen.
Sit up. Straight back. Face boldly up to the bloody thing and stare it square in the eye, as would any decent Englishman. Show who's in command.
Papa, I don't think I can read this.
This devilish device will change everything if you don't. In the past, all a king had to do was look respectable in uniform or not fall off his horse. Now we must invade people's homes and ingratiate ourselves with them. This family has been reduced to those lowest basis of all creatures. We've become actors.
We're not a family, we're a firm.
Yet at any moment, some of us may be out of work. Your darling brother and future king, the only wife he appears interested in is invariably the wife of another.
He's broken off with Lady Furness.
And taken up with Mrs. Simpson, a woman with 2 husbands living. I told him straight, no divorced person can ever be received at court. He said it made him sublimely happy. I imagine that was because she was sleeping with him. I give you my word, this is what he said, I give you my word, we've never had immoral relations. stared square into his father's face, and lied. When I'm dead, that boy will ruin himself, this family, and this nation within 12 months. Who'll pick up the pieces? Herr Hitler intimidating half of Europe, Marshal Stalin the other half. Who will stand between us, the jackboots, and the proletarian abyss? You? Well, with your older brother shirking his duties, you're going to have to do a lot more of this. Have a go yourself.
Through them. Wireless.
Get it out, boy.
One of the marvels of
modern. Just take your time. Form your words carefully.
science. I am enabled.
Relax. Just try it.
This Christmas Day, to speak to all my.
Do it!
Who's been polishing the sun, brightening the sky today? They must have known just how I like it, 'cause everything's coming my way. Who's been teaching all the birds how to sing a roundelay? They must have known just how I like it, 'cause everything's coming my way. Yesterday everything looked at.
You're playing music, I know. So how can I hear what I'm saying?
Well, surely the Princess Ray knows what its mouth's doing.
You're not well acquainted with royal princes, are you? To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation hopeless.
Strictly business. No personal nonsense.
Yes, I thought I made that clear in our interview.
Have you got the shilling you owe me?
No, I haven't.
Didn't think so.
Besides, you tricked me.
Physical exercises and tricks are important, but what you're asking will only deal with the surface of the problem.
Is that sufficient? No, as far as I see it, my husband has mechanical difficulties with his speech. Maybe just deal with that.
I'm willing to work hard, Dr. Logue.
Lionel.
Are you willing to do your part?
All right. You want mechanics? We need to relax your jaw muscles, strengthen your tongue by repeating tongue twisters. For example, I'm a thistle sifter. I have a sieve of sifted thistles and a sieve of unsifted thistles because I'm a thistle sifter.
Fine.
And you do have a flabby tummy, so we'll need to spend some time strengthening your diaphragm. Simple mechanics.
That's all we ask.
Oh, well, that's about a shilling's worth.
Forget about the blessed shilling! Perhaps upon occasions, you might be requested to assist in coping with some minor event. Would that be agreeable?
Of course.
Yes, and that would be the full extent of your services.
Shall I see you next week?
I shall see you every day. Feel the looseness of the jaw. Good. Good, little bounces, bounces. Shoulders loose, shoulders loose. Good. Now loose. Take a nice deep breath, expand the chest. Put your hands onto your ribs. Deeper, good. How do you feel?
Full of hot air.
Isn't that what public speaking's all about?
My wife and I are glad to visit this important...
Take a good deep breath, and up comes Her Royal Highness, and slowly exhale, and down comes Her Royal Highness.
All right, Bertie. Yes. It's actually quite good fun.
Mother. Shorten the humming each time. Mother.
Manufacturing district.
Another deep breath, and Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill
Went up the hill.
went up the hill.
Now just sway. Perfect.
Will not permit us to...
Loosen the shoulders.
Ding dong bell, but she's in the well. Who put her in? Little Tommy Kin.
Got a short memory, Bertie. Come on.
A cow. A cow. A cow. A cow. A king.
Anyone who can shout vowels at an open window can learn to deliver a speech.
50.
Good. Deep breath, and
It is...
let the words flow.
No, it doesn't bloody work.
Come on, one more time, Bertie. You can do it.
A sieve of thisted cephals. Da! Ma! Ba!
Father.
Father.
Father. Aim for the 88.
Father.
Father.
Father. Father.
Hello, Bertie.
Hello, David.
Nice of you to come out.
Not at all.
Been waiting long? Christ, bloody freezing.
Where have you been?
I've been busy.
Have I? Elizabeth has pneumonia.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should recover.
Father won't.
I'll drive. Old Bug is doing this on purpose.
Dying?
Departing prematurely to complicate matters with Wallace.
Oh. For heaven's sake, David. You know how long he's been ill.
Wallace explained. She's terribly clever about these things.
Whereas by letters patent under the Great Seal, bearing date of Westminster the 11th day of June 1912, His Majesty King George V did constitute, order and declare that there should be a guardian of the realm, Custos Regni, in the form of councillors of state.
And
It's the
I don't understand what you're talking
order
about.
of the Council of State.
Would you do that? The other one?
So that we may act on your
This is
behalf.
all much clearer to me, I'm afraid, Lord Wickham. I can't follow you. Well, I'm still confused, but...
Approved.
Thank you.
Let me help you, sir.
Ah, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Feeling a little better, sir?
No, I'm not feeling any better. I feel dreadful. In ice skating? Ice skating?
No, George.
Yes. Yes, all right, of course. I know, darling, a talk, even a lovely long talk, is a poor substitute for holding tight and making drowsy. Nor making our own drowsies either, as we've had to do far too often lately.
David, for dinner.
I'm on with Wallace. It's Bertie. No. No, it's not important. Oh, I don't want to. No. Telephone me later? All right, bye. Wallace misses me terribly.
Mamma says you're late for dinner.
She forgets Papa's bloody clocks were half an hour fast. How's the king? I hope he's not in pain.
No, no, sir. His Majesty's quieter now.
Thank you.
David, if your father were here, tardiness would not be tolerated. None of this unpleasantness would be tolerated.
You know, sir, I appreciate that you are different from your father, both in outlook and temperament. I want you to know that whenever the king questioned your conduct, I tried, in your interest, to present it in the most favorable light.
I can always trust you to have my best interests at heart.
I fear our vigil will not be of long duration. Please continue.
Let us commend our brother George to the mercy of God, our Maker and Redeemer.
Long live the king.
I hope I will make good as he has made good.
What on earth was that?
Poor Wallace. Now I'm trapped.
And in these last 25 crowded, troubled, glorious years, if there is one thing that King George has taught, it is the art of the leader who is also a brother to his followers. As long as he lived, he was the guiding star of a great nation.
Dad?
When he died,
Time for a shake, Dad?
the little children cried in the street.
You sure?
Go on.
Put your thinking caps on.
I bet it's the Scottish play.
No, it's Othello. It's always Othello.
Art thou afeard? Be not afeard.
Caliban.
Oh, for heaven's sake, that was a lucky guess.
Don't listen to Egghead. Go on, Dad.
The isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices that if then I had waked after long sleep will make me sleep again. All right, clever clog, so what comes next?
And then in dreaming, methought the clouds would
clouds,
open.
methought.
The clouds methought would open and show riches ready to drop upon me, that when I waked I cried
to dream again. That's such a sad thought. My next patient must be a bit early. You better go, lads, I'm sorry. Won't be a moment, Clifford. Bye. Bertie. They told me not to expect you. I'm sorry about your father.
I don't wish to intrude.
Oh, not at all. Please, come in. Come in.
I've been practicing an hour a day, in spite of everything. What's going on there?
Oh, I was, sorry, mucking around with my kids. Do you feel like working today?
Curtis biplane.
I'll put on some hot milk.
Logue. Kill for something stronger.
I wasn't there for my father's death. Still makes me sad.
I can imagine so. What did your father do?
He was a brewer.
Ah.
At least there was free beer. Here's to the memory of your father.
I was informed after the fact that my father's last words were, Bertie has more guts than the rest of his brothers put together. Couldn't say that to my face. My brother.
What about him? Try singing it.
I'm sorry?
What songs do you know?
Songs?
Yes, songs.
Swanee River.
I love that song.
It happens to be my favorite.
Sing me the chorus.
No, certainly not. I was wanted to build models. Oh, father wouldn't allow it. He collected stamps. We had to collect stamps.
You can finish that off if you sing. My brother David, dum 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 dum.
I'm not going to sit here warbling.
You can with me.
Because you're peculiar.
I take that as a compliment. Well, rules are rules.
I'm not crooning Swanee River.
Countdown races then. My brother David said to me, doo-da, doo-da. Continuous sound will give you flow.
No.
Does it feel strange now that David's on the throne?
To tell the truth, it was a relief, knowing I wouldn't be king.
But unless he produces an heir, you're next in line. And your daughter Elizabeth would then succeed you.
You're barking up the wrong tree now, Doctor. Doctor.
Lionel, see? You didn't stammer.
And of course I didn't stammer, I was singing.
Well, as a little reward, you get to put some glue on these struts.
Your boy won't mind?
No, not at all.
David and I were very close. Young bucks, you know.
Did you chase the same girls?
David was always very helpful in arranging introductions. We shared the expert ministrations of Paulette in Paris. Not at the same time, of course.
Did David ever tease you?
Oh, yes, they all did. Bertie. Father encouraged it. Said, "Get it out, boy." Said it would make me stop. He said I was afraid of my father, and my children are damn well going to be afraid of me.
Are you naturally right-handed?
Left. I was punished, and now I use the right.
Yes, that's very common with stammerers. Any other corrections?
Knock knees. Metal splints for me. One day and night.
Must have been painful.
Bloody agony. Straight legs now.
Who were you closest to in your family?
Nannies. Not my first nanny. She loved David. Hated me. When we were presented to my parents for the daily viewing, she'd pinch me. So I'd cry and be handed back to her immediately. And then she would
sing it.
Then she wouldn't feed me far, far away. Took my parents 3 years to notice. As you can imagine, caused some stomach problems. Still.
What about your brother, Johnny? Were you close to him?
Johnny. He's a sweet boy. And, epilepsy. And he's different. He died at 13, hidden from view. I'm told it's not catching.
Do you want to top up?
Please. You know, Lionel, you're the first ordinary Englishman,
Australian,
I've ever really spoken to. When I'm driven through the streets and I see the common man staring at me, I'm struck by how little I know of his life and how little he knows of mine. Thank you.
What are friends for?
I wouldn't know. I sifted 7 thick salt thistles through strong, thick sieves. I sifted 7 thick
Enough now, darling. No.
Listen, I have to keep doing this. It's your fault. I sifted 7 thick stalks.
100-year-old spruces removed to improve the view. Who does she think she is?
Nonetheless, we must try to be pleasant towards Mrs. Simpson.
You know, she calls me the fat Scottish cook.
You're not fat.
and getting plump.
Well, you seldom cook. Sifted 7. Still strong 6. I shifted 7.
3, 2, 1, and...
Their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of York.
How lovely to see you both. Welcome to our little country shack.
I came at the invitation of the king. Majesty.
All right.
Sorry we're late.
Very nice to see you, Mrs. Simpson. Very nice. Hello, David. Making some changes to the garden, I see.
Yes, I'm not quite finished yet.
Don't tell me I behaved badly, Mr. Churchill.
On the contrary, Your Royal Highness. Etiquette decrees that royalty should be greeted by the official host, in this case the king, not a commoner.
Thank you.
What is her hold on him?
I've no idea. Apparently she has certain skills acquired in an establishment in Shanghai.
David.
Just be a sec, darling. Excuse me.
David, I've been trying to see you.
I've been terribly busy.
Doing what?
Kinging.
Really? Kinging is a precarious business these days. Where's the Russian Tsar? Where's Cousin Wilhelm?
You're being dreary.
Is kinging laying off 80 staff and buying more pearls for Wallace while people are marching across Europe singing the red flag?
Herr Hitler will sort them out.
And who'll sort out Herr Hitler?
Where's the bloody 23?
And you put that woman in our mother's suite!
Mama's not still in the bed, is she?
That's not funny.
Here it is. Wallace likes the very best.
I don't care what woman you carry on with at night, as long as you show up for duty in the morning.
Wallace is not just some woman I'm carrying on with. We intend to marry.
Excuse me?
She's filing a petition for divorce.
God. Can't you just give her a nice house and a title?
I'm not having her as my mistress.
The church doesn't recognize divorce, and you are the head of the church.
Haven't I any rights?
Many privileges.
Not the same thing. Your beloved common man may marry for love. Why not me?
If you were a common man, on what basis could you possibly claim to be king?
Sounds like you've studied our wretched constitution.
Sounds like you haven't.
That's what this is about. Brushing up. Hence the elocution lessons. That's the scoop around town.
I'm trying to...
Yearning for a larger audience, are we, Bertie?
Don't...
What's that? I'm sorry. Younger brother trying to push older brother off the throne. Positively medieval. Wallace?
Ah. Where have you been all this time?
Who have you been talking to?
Never you mind. Ah, what a very comfortable little king you are.
I try to be.
All that work down the drain. My own brother, I couldn't say a single word to him in reply.
Why do you stammer so much more with David than you ever do with me?
Because you're bloody well paid to listen.
Bertie, I'm not a geisha girl.
Stop trying to be so bloody clever.
What is it about David that stops you speaking?
What is it about you that bloody well makes you want to go on about him the whole bloody time?
Vulgar but fluent. You don't stammer when you swear.
No, bugger off.
Is that the best you can do?
Well, bloody bugger to you, you beastly bastard.
Oh, a public school prig could do better than that.
Shit. Shit, 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 shit.
Yes.
Shit.
Defecation flows trippingly from the tower.
Because I'm angry.
Do you know the F word?
Fornication.
Oh, Bertie.
Fuck. 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 Fucking fuck. Fuck. Fucking bugger. 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 Buggity. 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 Fuck. Fuck. Ass.
Yes.
Balls. Balls. Fucking.
You see?
Shit,
Not a
shit,
hesitation.
Fuck and willy. Willy. Shit and fuck and tits.
Dad? What's going on?
Sorry. Just finish your homework. Well, that's a side of you we don't get to see all that often.
No. No, we're not supposed to, really. Not publicly.
Let's get some air.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
What's the matter? Why are you so upset?
Logue, you have no idea. My brother is infatuated with a woman who's been married twice. She's asking for a divorce and he's determined to marry her.
Jesus.
Mrs. Wallace Simpson of Baltimore.
That's not right. Queen Wallace of Baltimore.
Unthinkable.
Can he do it?
Absolutely not. He's going to anyway. All hell's broken loose.
Can't they just carry on privately?
If only they would.
Where does this leave you?
I know my place. I would do anything in my power to keep my brother on the throne.
Is it that serious? Your place may well be on the throne.
I'm not an alternative to my brother.
You can outshine David.
Don't take liberties! That's bordering on treason.
I'm just saying you could be king. You could do it.
That is treason.
I'm trying to get you to realize you needn't be governed by fear.
I've had enough of this.
What are you so afraid of?
Your poisonous words!
Why did you come to me? You're not some middle-class banker who wants elocution lessons so you can chit-chat.
Oh, don't attempt to instruct me on my duties. I am the son of a king. The brother of a king. You're the disappointing son of a brewer. Jumped up jackaroo from the outback. You're nobody. These sessions are over.
It's not because she's an American. That is the least of it. It's because she's a soon-to-be twice-divorced American. And the king, as head of the Church of England, cannot marry a divorced woman. And, sir, I apologize for the nature of this. According to Scotland Yard, the king has not always possessed exclusive rights to Mrs. Simpson's favors and affections, sharing them with a married used car salesman, a certain Mr. Guy Trundle. In addition, it is also rumored Hitler's ambassador, Count von Ribbentrop, sends her 17 carnations every day. Should His Majesty continue to ignore the advice of his government, he must abdicate. Otherwise, his government has no choice but to resign.
Prime Minister, you leave a country without a government.
Does the king do what he wants? Or does he do what the people expect him to do?
As crowds in Downing Street watch ministers come and go, there is raised an age-old problem. Can a king separate his personal life from his public duty?
What's the matter, love?
I'm just having trouble with the patient.
That isn't like you.
Why?
He's scared. He's afraid of his own shadow.
Isn't that why they come to you?
This fellow could really be somebody great. He's fighting me.
Perhaps he doesn't want to be great. Perhaps that's what you want.
I might have overstepped the mark.
Apologise. Do you both good?
I'm very sorry, Mr. Logue. The Duke is busy.
I'm happy to wait. Or I could come back later.
As I said, the Duke is terribly busy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Parliament will not support the marriage.
But there are other reasons for concern. He was careless with state papers, he lacked commitment and resolve, and there are those who are worried about where he will stand when war comes with Germany.
We're not coming to that.
Indeed we are, sir. Prime Minister Baldwin may deny this, but Hitler's intent is crystal clear.
War with Germany will come, and we will need a king whom we can all stand behind united.
I fear my brother is not of sound mind at this time.
Have you thought what you will call yourself?
I
Certainly not Albert, sir. Too Germanic.
What?
What about George? After your father? George VI has a rather nice continuity to it, don't you think?
David, thank God. You look exhausted. How are you bearing up?
Bertie, the decision's been made. I'm going.
I can't accept that. You're in no condition.
I'm
to
afraid
make
there's
that
no
decision.
other way. I must marry her. My mind's made up. I'm sorry.
That's a terrible thing to hear. Nobody wants that. I least of all.
At long last, I am able to say a few words of my own. I have never wanted to withhold anything, but until now, it has not been constitutionally possible for me to speak. A few hours ago, I discharged my last duty as King and Emperor. And now that I have been succeeded by my brother, the Duke of York, my first words must be to declare my allegiance to him. This I do with all my heart. You all know the reasons which have impelled me to renounce the throne. But you must believe me when I tell you that I have found it impossible to carry the heavy burden of responsibility and to discharge my duties as king as I would wish to do without the help and support of the woman I love. And I want you to know this decision, has been made less difficult to me by the sure knowledge that my brother, with his long training in the public affairs of this country, and with his fine qualities, will be able to take my place forthwith without interruption or injury to the life and progress of the Empire.
I meet you today in circumstances which are
Sure you'll love it?
There you go.
Thank you, darling. Saddles. Margaret.
There's Montezuma. Good boy.
Alice.
Oh, here's one.
Little saddles.
Mama, here's a horse and saddle.
Thank you. Oops.
Don't worry, Snowy. We'll get your food back
Ma,
in a minute.
yes?
Will we have space for our horses in our new home?
Of course we will, darling. We'll have a palace of rooms.
Good. Your Majesty.
How was it?
I was trying to familiarize myself with what a state paper looks like. The dispatch from Mr. Baldwin, which I don't understand a word of. David's finances. Christmas broadcast.
Oh.
Think that would be a mistake.
No, don't worry about that. No. No.
Plans for the coronation. I think that would be an even bigger mistake. I'm not a king. I'm a naval officer, that's all I know. I'm not a king, I'm not a king. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be silly. Oh, dear. My dear, dear man.
You know, I refused your first 2 marriage proposals, not because I didn't love you, but because I couldn't bear the idea of a royal life. Couldn't bear the idea of a life of tours, of public duty, a life that no longer was really to be my own. But then I thought, he stammers so beautifully. They'll leave us alone.
Waiting for King to apologize, one can wait rather a long wait.
I'm afraid we're slightly late.
This is home. Myrtle's at bridge. I made sure the boys were out.
It's lovely. Absolutely lovely. Oh, may I sit down?
Yes, of course. Would you like some tea, ma'am?
Yes, I'll help myself. Now off you go. Or must I knock your heads together?
Here's your shilling. I understand what you were trying to say, Lade.
I went about it the wrong way. I'm sorry.
So, here I am. Is the nation ready for 2 minutes of radio silence?
Every stammerer always fears going back to square one. I don't let that happen.
If I fail in my duty, David could come back. I've seen the placards. God save our king. Don't mean me. Every monarch in history has succeeded someone who was dead, or just about to be. My predecessor is not only alive, but very much so. Bloody mess. Couldn't even give them a Christmas speech.
Like your dad used to do.
Precisely.
He's not here anymore.
Yes, he is. He's on that shilling I gave you.
Easy enough to give away. You don't have to carry him around in your pocket. Or your brother. You don't need to be afraid of the things you were afraid of when you were 5. You're very much your own man, Bertie.
Aye.
Your face is next, mate. Myrtle.
Is this all right? Yes.
Bertie, come here.
You all right, Logue?
Yes.
Well, shouldn't we go through?
Trust me, it's important.
What is it?
It's Your Majesty the first time. After that, it's ma'am, as in ham, not ma'am, as in palm.
I haven't told her about us. Sit down, relax.
I'm told your husband calls my husband Bertie, and my husband calls your husband Lionel. I trust you won't call me Liz.
Your Majesty, you may call me Mrs. Logue for him.
Very nice to meet you, Mrs. Logue.
Logue, we can't stay here all day.
Yes, we can. Logue, I need to wait for the right moment.
Logue, you're being a coward.
You're damn right.
Get out there, man.
Hello, Myrtle, darling. You're early. I believe you two have met, but I don't think you know King George VI.
It was very nice to meet you.
Will their Majesties be staying to dinner?
We'd love to. Such a treat, but, alas, previous engagement. What a pity.
Archbishop.
Welcome, Your Majesty. What a glorious transformation, sir. I hope you'll forgive us if we continue our preparations. And now, allow me to guide you through the ceremony. We begin, of course, at the west door into the nave.
I see all your pronouncements are to be broadcast, Archbishop.
Ah, yes, wireless. It is indeed a Pandora's box.
And I'm afraid I've also had to permit the newsreel cameras, the product of which I shall personally edit.
Without momentary hesitations.
This is Dr. Logue of Harley Street. He's my speech therapist.
Grace?
Had I known that Your Majesty was seeking assistance, I should have made my own recommendation.
Dr. Logue will be attending the coronation.
Well, of course, I'll speak to the Dean, but it will be extremely difficult.
I should like the Doctor to be seated in the King's box.
But members of your family will be seated there, sir.
That is why it is suitable.
And now, if you don't mind, Your Grace, we need the premises.
My dear fellow, this is Westminster Abbey. The Church must prepare His Majesty.
My preparations are equally as important. With complete privacy, if you don't mind.
Those are my wishes, Your Grace.
I will place the Abbey at Your Majesty's disposal this evening. Your Majesty.
I look and I go, come along. And I think what I'll do is instruction and
I can't believe I'm walking on Chaucer and Handel and Dickens. Everything all right? Let's get cracking.
I'm not here to rehearse, Dr. Logue. Call me Lionel. True, you never called yourself Doctor. I did that for you. No training, no diploma, no qualifications, just a great deal of nerve.
The Star Chamber Inquisition, is it?
You asked for trust and total equality.
Bertie, I heard you at Wembley. I was there. My son Laurie said, Dad, do you think you could help that poor man?
What, as a failed actor?
It's true. I'm not a doctor. And yes, I acted a bit. Well, I recited in pubs. I taught elocution in schools. When the Great War came, all our soldiers were returning to Australia from the front. A lot of them shell-shocked, unable to speak. Somebody said, Lionel, you're very good at all this speech stuff. Do you think you could possibly help these poor buggers? I did muscle therapy, exercises, relaxation, but I knew I had to go deeper. Those poor young blokes had cried out in fear. No one was listening to them. My job was to give them faith in their own voice and let them know that a friend was listening. That must ring a few bells with you, Bertie.
Give a very noble account of yourself.
Make inquiries. It's all true.
Inquiries have been made. You have no idea who I have breathing down my neck. I vouched for you, and you have no credentials.
But lots of success. I can't show you a certificate. There was no training then. Everything I know from experience, and that war was some experience. My plaque says L. Logue, speech defects, not doctor. There are no letters after my name. Lock me in the tower.
I would, if I could.
On what charge?
Fraud. With war looming, you've saddled this nation with a voiceless king. You've destroyed the happiness of my family, all for the sake of ensnaring a starved patient you couldn't possibly hope to assist. It'll be like mad King George III. It'll be mad King George the Stammerer, who let his people down so badly in their hour of need. What are you doing? Get up! You can't sit there! Get up!
Why not? It's a chair.
No, that is not a chair. That is St. Edward's chair.
People have carved their names on it.
Chair is the seat on which every king
It's held in
and
place
queen.
by a large rock.
That is the stone of Scone. You are trivializing
you can believe
everything.
all that,
You
Bunkum. I don't
trivialize.
care how many royal
Listen to me.
arseholes have sat in
Listen
this
to me.
chair.
Listen to me.
Listen to you by what right?
By divine right, if you must. I'm your king.
No, you're not. You told me so yourself. You said you didn't want it. Why should I waste my time listening to you?
Because I have a right to be, and I have a voice.
Yes, you do. You have such perseverance, Bertie. You're the bravest man I know. You'll make a bloody good king.
What on earth is going on, sir?
It's quite all right, Archbishop.
Mr. Logue, you must know that I found a replacement English specialist with impeccable credentials. Hence, your services will no longer be required.
I'm sorry.
Your Majesty's function is to consult and be advised. Now, you didn't consult, but you have just been advised.
And now I advise you. In this personal matter, I will make my own decision.
My concern is for the head on which I must place the crown.
I appreciate that, Archbishop. But it's my head.
Your humble servant.
Thank you, Bertie. Shall we rehearse? Come on, up on your perch. Now, when you and Elizabeth enter through the west door, you will be greeted by the hymn, "I was glad when they said unto me." Well, actually, you won't be all that glad because they do sing it for a very long time. Then your friend, the Archbishop, will pounce up the stairs towards you and say, "Sir, is your Majesty willing to take the oath?"
I am willing.
Well, of course you are. I'm going to see what this sounds like in the cheap seats so even your old nanny can hear. Will you govern your peoples, Great Britain, Ireland, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, according to their lands and customs?
Solemnly promise to do so.
Louder, I can't hear you up the back.
I solemnly promise to do so.
Very good. And will you, to your power, cause law and justice in mercy to be executed in all your judgments?
I will.
Then there's a very long bit about upholding the faith. It goes on, rubbish, 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 to which you finally say,
The things which I have herebefore promised, I will perform and keep. So help me God.
and that's all you say. 4 short responses. Kiss the book and sign the oath, and you're king. Easy.
Pure gold upon his head, so enriched his royal heart with thine abundant grace, and count him all his
You nearly can't him backwards, Archbishop.
Someone had removed the thread marking the back of the crown, sir.
Try not to lose the thread, Archbishop.
Archbishop, we're missing Papa.
Very good. Very good, Archbishop.
Well, I hope your majesties are thrilled with the result. You can switch that machine off now.
No, wait, keep going.
Nazism has held its great convention. Masses of uniformed men, stupefying to the eye and incredible to the imagination,
have stood in spellbound audience of the Führer.
Eine Vorführung zu eigener Arbeit, zu eigenem Fleiß, eigenen Entschlossenheit, eigenen Trotz, eigene Beharrlichkeit. Dann werden wir wieder den Vorstein, genau wie die Väter einst auf
Papa, what's he say?
I don't know, but he seems to be saying it rather well.
Sir, I have asked to see you today in order to tender my resignation as Prime Minister.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Mr. Baldwin.
Neville Chamberlain will take my place as Prime Minister. It's a matter of principle. I was mistaken. I have found it impossible to believe that there is any man in the world so lacking in moral feeling as Hitler, that the world may be hurled for a second time into the abyss of destructive war. Churchill was right all along. This was always Hitler's intention. I'm only very sorry to leave you at this great time of crisis. I'm very much afraid, sir, that your greatest test is yet to come.
I am speaking to you from the Cabinet Room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
At last, sir, here is your speech. You are on air at 6. I've timed it to just under 9 minutes. The wording is fully approved. The Prime Minister will be joining you for the broadcast, which will go out live across the nation, the Empire, and to our armed forces.
Get Logue here immediately.
There's the barrage balloons. Yes. They got them up there quickly.
Should we pull over and find a shelter?
No, go straight there.
Okay.
We'll be all right.
Yes, sir.
Lionel Logue, Major Harding's expecting me. This is my son, Laurie. Thank you, Laurie.
Good luck, Dad.
The King's speech.
Thank you, sir.
We have about 40 minutes to the broadcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
There may be dark days ahead. And
try again.
There may be dark days ahead. And
turn the hesitations into pauses and say to yourself, God save the King.
I say that continuously. Apparently no one's listening.
Long pauses are good. They add solemnity to great occasions.
Well, I'm the solemnest king who ever lived. You know, if I'm a king, where's my power? Can I form a government? Can I
Can I levy a tax, declare a war? No. And yet I'm the seat of all authority. Why? Because the nation believes that when I speak for them. Yeah, but I can't speak.
Let's take it all again from the top, in this grave hour.
In this grave hour, fuck, perhaps the most fateful in our history, bugger shit, I send to every household of my... You see, P is always difficult, even when I'm singing.
Bounce onto it. Our peoples.
Our peoples. Household of my... Our peoples, both at home and overseas.
Butte.
This message, doodah, spoken with the same depth of feeling, doodah day, for each one of you, as if I were able to shit fuck bugger across your threshold and to speak to you.
In your head now. I have a right to be bloody well heard.
Bloody well heard myself!
Now waltz, move, get continuous movement.
For the second time in the lives of most of us, we are, take a pause. Lionel, I can't do this.
Bertie, you can do it. Have a look at the last paragraph.
Bertie, it's time.
Archbishop.
Your Majesty.
A great moment, sir.
Prime Minister.
Your Majesty.
Nice to see you again so soon. Good of you to be here. I'm sure you have a rather busy day.
I hope we have no more interruptions from those damned sirens, sir.
Oh, the wretched dogs. Congratulations, First Lord of the Admiralty.
Your Majesty.
The long walk.
Good luck, sir. I too dread this apparatus. Had a speech impediment myself, you know.
I didn't.
Family secret. Tongue-tied. An operation was considered to be too dangerous. I eventually made an exit of it.
Thank you, Mr. Churchill.
Sir.
Darling.
How long, Logue?
Just under 3 minutes.
Mr. Wood.
Good luck, Your Majesty.
Mr. Wood.
You've redecorated, Logue.
I made it cozy. Some fresh air.
There you are, darling.
I'm a thistle sifter. I'm a sieve of sifted thistles and a sieve of unsifted thistles. A sieve of sifted thistles and a sieve of unsifted thistles. Because I'm a thistle sifter.
Darling, make sure it's not switched on.
Remember, the red light will blink 4 times, and I've asked them to turn it off. Because we don't want that evil eye staring at you all the way through.
1 minute, sir.
I'm sure you'll be splendid.
Seconds, sir.
Logue. However this turns out, I don't know how to thank you for what you've done.
Knighthood? Forget everything else and just say it to me. Say it to me as a friend.
In this grave, our perhaps the most fateful in our history, I send to every household of my peoples, both at home and overseas, this message, spoken with the same depth of feeling for each one of you as if I were able to cross your threshold and speak to you myself. For the second time in the lives of most of us, we are at war. Over and over again, we have tried to find a peaceful way out of the differences between ourselves and those who are now our enemies. But it has been in vain. We have been forced into a conflict. For we are called to meet the challenge of a principle which, if it were to prevail, would be fatal to any civilized order in the world. Such a principle, stripped of all disguise, is surely the mere primitive doctrine that might is right. For the sake of all that we ourselves hold dear, it is unthinkable that we should refuse to meet the challenge. It is to this high purpose that I now call my people at home and my peoples across the seas who will make our cause their own. I ask them to stand calm and firm and united in this time of trial. The task will be hard. There may be dark days ahead, and war can no longer be confined to the battlefield. But we can only do the right as we see the right, and reverently commit our cause to God. If one and all we keep resolutely faithful to it, then, with God's help, we shall prevail.
It's very good, Bertie. You still stammered on the W.
I had to throw in a few, so they knew it was me.
Congratulations, Your Majesty. A true broadcaster.
Thank you, Mr. Wood.
Congratulations, Your Majesty. Sir? Congratulations, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
Ready.
Good.
Perfect, sir.
Your first wartime speech. Congratulations.
I expect I shall have to do a great deal more. Thank you, Logue. Well done, my friend.
Thank you. Your Majesty.
I knew you'd be good. Thank you, Lionel.
Onwards.
Congratulations, sir. Well done, sir.
Couldn't have said it better myself, sir.
Your Majesty, I am speechless.
Congratulations, sir.
Gentlemen.
Congratulations, Your Majesty.
So how was Papa, Elizabeth?
Halting at first, but you got much better, Papa.
Bless you. Mwah. And how about you, Margaret?
You were just splendid, Papa.
Of course I was. We all ready?
Come on, girls.
Thank you.